Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live session. So, guys, as you can see on the screen, we are still on this topic. Like we all know that Atiku has gone to the United States trying to get Tinubu's record. He wants the court to mandate the university to release his records to him. I mean, to Atiku. And like you all know that the Chicago University has equally said they are going to do whatever the court asks them to do. So currently, we came up with this topic, in one of the sites stated that Tinubu is blaming the Chicago University clerk for some of the irregularities that have been seen in his certificate, because the certificate that was submitted to INEC and the one that was subpoenaed to be issued, there are a lot of controversies, a lot of differences between the two of them. So Atiku has taken this bold step trying to get the original document so that he will know exactly what and what is stated there. So today we'll be diving deep into this topic. Let's just dive deep to unfold what has been happening from the time this case come up until today. So at this point, I'll be allowing Dr. Tell to come in and to give us some of the updates on this topic. Dr. Tell, please, over to you.
Okay, good evening, listeners. I hope you have a wonderful evening today. Is my voice clear?
Yes.
All right. Now, as we know, Atiku was able to subpoena Mike Enahoro Eba during the trial period, based on the document that he submitted at the Federal High Court in Abuja. And so he came in there and he got that document, as I've said here, times without number, through a subpoena that was issued to the Chicago State University. So Chicago State University provided for him the document that they have on their record for the APC's candidate. And when he returned back to Nigeria, he also went to INEC, based on Freedom of Information Act, requested for INEC to provide for him the copies of the document, certified true copies of the document that was submitted by the APC on behalf of their candidate. And when he got both documents, there was indeed a disparity. The certificate that was submitted is not a photocopy of the certificate that was issued by the university. The dates of the issuance were not even the same. And the number of signatories in that particular certificate are still not the same. The one that the university issued had 2 signatures. The one that the candidate of APC submitted had 3 signatures. So, because in the closing defense of APC, they said that they had their candidate's academic record. And that time, it was them that was closing their argument. There was no time again for PDP to make any other argument, because PDP is the petitioner in the case. So, but Atiku felt that the document they supplied there is wrong, because it is not the same kind of document that Mike Enahoro Eba supplied, and which was in his witness statement. And so he went to the US. He hired a lawyer, a law firm in US, to get him the updated record. What is the exact record that is in the university? Because as it is now, the one APC submits is trying to make it look like the one that Mike Enahoro Eba submitted, that there is an issue there. So it's only the university that issued the certificate according to our Evidence Act and according to our law that can say this is the certificate that we issued. And so that was how Atiku filed. That was how Atiku filed. But then the Tinubu, who happens to be the candidate of the APC, they quickly started fighting, made an application asking the court not to grant Atiku, his prayers. And as we presented day before yesterday, first of all, they challenged the court, telling the court that they don't have any jurisdiction. And the court says, we have jurisdiction to issue this. And unless you tell us why we should not issue that subpoena, we are going to issue that subpoena mandating the university to release the documents. And that is where this particular thing we are seeing here now came to play. He argued that, number one, in his argument, that the hearing and the trial is already concluded, that what Atiku is asking for is no longer relevant for the case because evidence had been presented and hearing concluded that we are now waiting for the judgment to be delivered. But he was not completely true because this is just the first leg of the case. We know that there is an appellant court where this will be appealed to, which is the Supreme Court. And so I'm going to be doing it. And in Atiku's reply, which I have here, Atiku replied by saying that there is still, this case will eventually get to the Supreme Court. And he needs it as evidence to prove that what hence they themselves have submitted. He wants to be sure that what they submitted is what the university issued. So let the university prove him wrong. All right. So because he was trying to say that the information he's asking is no longer relevant. And then secondly, he said that the certificate Enahoro Eba submitted for the first time it came out. APC's candidates said that the certificate, the document that Enahoro Eba submitted was indeed issued by the university. This is the most important thing. However, they said that, number one, that that subpoena was illegal. That subpoena was illegal because Enahoro was not a party to the case. But you know that Enahoro did not file as if he's a party to the case. We read his file petition day before yesterday. He was making a file of criminal complaints. He was not submitting an application like Atiku saying this person is not qualified. He went to the magistrate court in Abuja, not even the high court, because it is only in the high court. The high court is the trial court for pre-election litigations. Nigerians, are you seeing it now? The pre-election litigation starts from the high court. Enahoro did not go to the high court. He went to the magistrate court because he is pursuing another end. The only reason why he came to the presidential election petitions court was because he was subpoenaed by Atiku's lawyers. Are you seeing how what Enahoro was doing in the magistrate court entered the high court? Entered the appeal court because he was subpoenaed. And the moment a subpoena is issued to you, you don't have a choice. It's like a mandatory, you are mandated to respond. So that was how he responded and supplied the information that the university gave him. And that was what made APC, they don't know what to do. Wherever they got the one they eventually submitted, we don't know. But let's take it one after the other. We're going to be very snappy, yet detailed this night. I have my notes here. Number one is, you said that the clerk made, the university clerk made anomalies and blatant irregularities, appearance of difference on academic certificate. Please, since when in this world has it been that when you ask a university to give you a certified true copy of a certificate they issued, they go and produce a new one for you. They go and reprint a new one for you. Where in this world does it happen? They are trying to say that Enahoro asked and they produced a certificate for Enahoro, which was a copy of what they gave to him in 40-something years ago. I don't even understand how these people reason sometimes. That's what he told the court in his argument, that the clerk made mistakes. Okay, fine. The clerks, you made the mistakes. Did the clerk forge the signatures that came to sign there? Did the clerk go to drag the signatures? NYSC, we are borrowing this legal rule of law thing from these so-called Americans, them and co. NYSC, no university in Nigeria will issue you a certificate twice. If you throw away your certificate, the only thing they can do is to give you a certified true copy, because the day you collected the original, you signed original copy collected by me. Then they kept your photocopy in their file. Any day you go to knock on their door, they will give you the photocopy of the original you say you have lost. Since when did the institution start reprinting the documents that was not sought for? What was sought for is a certified true copy of what was issued, not a print for me, a certificate. That's number one. So Nigerians, are you seeing why there is an issue here? Secondly, let me ask this question. Atiku Abubakar asked the court, there are anomalies in Nigeria. I need this document to clear it. And the respondent came to the same court and start explaining how the anomalies apply. Is it the prayer of, is it not when someone make a prayer, you come to either defend it, make a petition, you come to defend the petition? So the question I am asking here, Nigerians, please help me answer these questions on the comment section if you're listening to me. Did Atiku ask the courts in the US to explain why there are anomalies? Did Atiku ask the owner of the certificate to come to the US courts to explain why there are anomalies? The explanation is to be made in the Nigerian court. Atiku just wants, university, give me what you have. Gaskiane, that's all I want. This coming to defend yourself in the US court, onye na choge, who they ask you, then do you get what I mean? Nobody is asking you for that. But you know, if you're a parent, when a child, like a train, has derailed, and you want to caution the child and bring the child, sometimes they begin to give spurious answers you didn't ask. And you're like, who asked you? You'll be telling the child, who asked you this question? I didn't ask you. You understand what I mean? So, thirdly, the third question is, if you found out, assuming that the institutions have now been accepted that when someone issued a subpoena to university to produce a copy, you can print a new one. Do you know what it means? You're printing a new one, and it is supposed that somebody is coming to say there is someone parading a certificate in a country issued by you people. Please, I have a case to challenge that certificate. can you give me a copy of what you people gave to him so that I can confirm that what you people gave to him is what he's parading? Because my hunch is telling me that that is not what he's parading. And then you went and print a new one. You have already killed the person, because there is no way you print a new one. Now, you printed a new one and you allotted a different logo. You printed a new one and you allotted different signatures. How can you do a thing? The only thing that will happen, even if the university had lost a copy of the certificate that is in their record, what they will do is, it not to say, we are pleased to inform you that maybe we had issue, the originals of the certificate were lost, or there was no filing of this in a soft copy. However, we can identify that, one, so and so person graduated from this university. Two, he graduated with this, just like the kind of thing you see in transcript or testimonial. By then, the university will admit that they have lost the certificate. Thirdly, or fourthly, please, all the while someone is desiring to be president, for how many years? You've not had the cause to check. Remember that this certificate issue had been going through Nigerian courts since 1999. You have not had the cause to look the university in the face and say, please, my name has been embarrassed for years now. I need all my documentation sorted. Please, I don't want story. So remember, in this court, in this election petition, you don't prove beyond reasonable doubt. No. The judgment of this election petition is going to be, the arbiter is on a balance of probability, meaning the judges will weigh all the things and feel like, this is heavier, and they'll give it to this. That is why the Constitution says that if the judges think that whatever errors or problems petitioners present is not substantial enough, they will allow the election to stand. Meaning, they accept that there may be some margin of error. But if they think on the balance of probability that the error is not enough, they will allow the election. But on this certificate issue, it is sorted, because the court in Nigeria had already said that modification of a document that exists is forgery. Creation of an entirely new document is forgery. In this instance, I've always said, I want to give the benefit of the doubt. This person went to the university. He probably was the best graduating student, you understand? He went to the university. He was probably the best graduating student. If you get to the Hall of Fame in that university, you're going to see his picture with his classmates and everybody. But what we are pleading in the court, what Atiku is asking the court, is not whether did this person go to the university. The whole case is summarized in lying under oath. This certificate issue presents two cases. It proves whether is this person academically qualified, which that one, anybody can wriggle through that one. I mean, the trainings, in fact, by mere fact that he had been a governor,
So, guys, sorry for that glitch. I think his internet is interrupting. So, guys, one might even wonder why our politicians choose to lie when it comes to certificates. You know, each time, most of them, when they want to submit, they go extra mile to like submit forged certificates. One keeps wondering, is it even necessary? You find out that the standard for one to even contest for these positions are very low. As in, you mustn't be a master's holder, you mustn't be a PhD holder, you mustn't even have an NYSC certificate, and so many things. But you know, most times they just come up with certificate, maybe just to like show the world that they went to school, not knowing that those certificates are forged. So I think all these things are to teach us, our politicians, lessons, as in they really have to learn. Just put forward yourself the way you are. If you know you don't really have certificates you can boldly back up, you just submit the much you can. You mustn't tell us that you went to the United States to school, or you had your NYSC and all that. Without those stuffs, you can still contest for all these positions. But if you claim you really want to show it to the world, make sure you are showcasing the original, not the. So I don't really know why politicians take this lane, submitting forged certificate. Anyway, this one is still alleged until proven that it was forged. But from the look of things, like we've seen, that the date on the one he submitted to INEC is different from the one that was gotten from the university. The age, I think the age too, the font that was even used in writing on the certificates, the two certificates are different. The number of signatures are different, as in so many things. One keeps wondering, why would they prefer to like take this route when it's even easy to just come up and say, okay, I had only WAEC and I want to be a president. I think it's very easy. Doctor, let me allow you to continue from where you stopped. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, I had a glitch.
Technical glitch.
Yeah, so now, if you look at it like that, what I was saying earlier on was that the issue of qualification, academic qualification, is even simple. The Electoral Act, the Constitution says, or any other qualification that INEC can approve, even trainings, management trainings and co. Someone who has been a member of House of Assembly or even a member, a councillor, do you know, can argue his case and become a president because all those trainings they are collecting money, say they are going, is good enough to make you a good leader. So you don't need to. So I think based on that, in terms of academic qualification, that's not an issue. I think what the PDP is proving is the irregularity in what that the certificate that was submitted was not issued by the university. The university needs to prove beyond reasonable doubt. Now, beyond reasonable doubt, because these are certificates, that they had once used that logo, that they had once had 3 of those officers as the signatories to their certificates. Anything less than that made that certificate with INEC to be a forged document. Now, if the university can sacrifice their own integrity and say, in order to save the president, and said, this certificate he's carrying, we issued it indeed. So and so person was our staff, but we have lost the photocopy, and currently we can only write a letter to back that one that is submitted, because that one that is submitted to the INEC is the bone of contention. The university must admit that they issued it. And the prayers of Atiku is not for the university to come and admit that they issued it. The prayer of Atiku is to show me what you people have in the record. Atiku is not there to ask whether anybody attended the university, because I could have attended the university. I've said it times without number in this platform. I could have attended the university. I could have lost my certificate. I could look and imagine that there is no time to call my university to issue me a certified true copy of my certificate in their file. And someone could have come and say, Oga, cool now, no be oluwole, we'll go just arrange them for you. Shebi, you go to university. Whenever they call the university, they will not say your name, they there. And then the process of conjuring, that's the term, I don't know what to call it. In the process of conjuring, that is the process of fabricating that certificate. If they mistakenly miss the E that is at the end of my name and write just Z-I instead of Z-I-E, I will be caught red-handed as forgery. Because that is a modification of an existing document. Atiku is trying to argue that even if this document is existing, the one submitted to the INEC was modified, and the person who modified it is not the university. So, as it were, though, the case there, so now as we're talking, Atiku supplied the court in the US a copy of the petition Enahoro Eba made to the magistrate court, containing everything that the university gave. Atiku also supplied the court in the US a copy of his petition because they were saying to the court in the US, APC's candidate was saying to the court in the US that Atiku should not be asking for his record because it is not part of his prayer. Then Atiku supplied to the university a copy of that petition that PDP wrote in March, where he mentioned that the APC candidate is not qualified because of irregularity in his academic record. So the court now has it. And then Atiku went further to say that he needs this thing for his appeal to the Supreme Court. So we are waiting. The university themselves replied also, arguing that they may not, that what Atiku is asking is too much. He says, so somebody says, so you are saying the sitting president did not attend CSU because if he has, a diploma cannot I think he wanted to say cannot be the argument, be true error of a copy. Please, I don't know if I'm reading correctly. If he has a diploma, cannot the argument be true error in copy? True error in copy. It says, so you are saying that the city did not. I said here, I have never, and I keep saying it said that anybody did not attend. I keep saying, I believe he may have attended the university. He may have been the best graduating student. He might even have his pictures in the Hall of Fame. Is that not what I said here? And that's what I keep saying. But so far as the copy of the certificate is submitted to the INEC, it's not a replica of what was. For instance, you wrote WAEC. You know you have 5 distinctions in your English, in your maths, in your physics, in your chemistry, and in your biology. But JAMB, okay, university where you are now going to submit your credentials to get admission, says that registrar office says submission of documents for new students will close tomorrow. And you look for your certificate, you couldn't find it. If you go to WAEC, probably to start applying to WAEC to give you, it might take months, the way we do it in Nigeria. And what did you do? Someone told you, Pros, why they worry yourself now? We know you now, not be you again. We know where they can create this certificate for you. and you run to that place, and they created a certificate bearing the same scores you had. But the registrar that signed the certificate is not the registrar that signed certificate in the year you graduated. So the name of the registrar that signed your certificate and the signature is different, but your name is the same. The logo, oh, I'm talking logo. In fact, the logo of your own WAEC changed from the logo that the WAEC say they have. And you submitted it. And someone you don't like that doesn't like you in the class spotted it and reported you to the university. And the university say they're going to rusticate you. Are you going to go to WAEC and say to WAEC that certificate, that they should come and defend it? No. So is getting Tinubu's documents still relevant in the tribunal case, or is there any tendering of evidence? I've just said it here, that Atiku said it in his petition, Ogundeji David. Listen, Tinubu said it in his counter argument, which was submitted yesterday, that he needs it in preparation for his appeal, which means he's preparing for the Supreme Court. And that he needs it to validate if what David Hunde submitted is true or not. Because assuming the appeal court says this respondent, remember they submitted academic record. This respondent has submitted academic record, and they weighed in to give their judgment in favor of that record. Atiku has every right to say to the Supreme Court, the record they submitted is a lie, because I have gone back to the university to bring the one that is true. And according to our Evidence Act, the issuer of the certificate is the person who will authenticate whatever is in dispute, whether it is right or wrong. So the university have to come to accept, the university must accept that certificate submitted to the INEC was issued by them. They must accept it. That is the only way they will exonerate this person. They must accept that certificate that was submitted to the INEC, that it was issued by them, that it is correct, all the dates there are correct, and that 3 men signed those signatures, and that the logo there was their logo. Anything short of that will make whatever they will issue to actually invalidate that one that is with INEC. Because anything they issue as what they have in their record, if it is not the exact same copy of what is with INEC, invalidates what is with the INEC. That will make, because the issuer cannot be wrong, it is the presenter that have the probability to go and forge. By so doing, the court will have it that, oh, we have now gotten a confirmation that you actually have a degree and there is a certificate in your name. However, the one that you submitted was not issued by the university, which means it is a modification of an existing document. And the court says that modification of existing document is forgery. And our law says if you submit a forged document to INEC, you're automatically disqualified. The university has to come outright and say that the certificate was not from them. My dear Folake, that's what we're all saying. The university should either hang themselves or hang somebody. Somebody must be hanged here. Because the implication here is that the university also is not denying that they did not issue those one that Enahoreba had to him. The university, even the APC team, accepted that it was issued by the university. So university have to first of all wake up and say, we apologize to you people that we are printing a new certificate. When what Enahoro Eba asks is, give me a copy of what you people have in your record, a copy, and you printed a new one. Even my primary school, I don't think that when I lose my first school leaving certificate, that my primary school will print a new one for me. I don't think so. I think they can only write acknowledgement letter to say, we don't have a copy with us. However, we know that so and so person attended with us. It says it's possible, did not even go to school. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Anything, Wakama, anything is possible. Anything at all is possible. But you see, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to say he went to school, he was the best graduating student, he was issued a certificate, his picture is on the Hall of Fame, but the certificate they issued to him, he said the military people destroyed it in 1993 when they, after Abiola, fine. The military people destroyed it. What it means, Nigerians, is that whatever he has now was given to him from between 1993, when the military destroyed the one he had, and 2003. So, the question is, did Enahoro Eba get a picture of a copy of the one they had in 1979, and the owner was given a reprinted one in 1993? This is another balance of probability we are looking at here. If they gave him a new one after the original was destroyed by the army, when was it given to him? When was it given to him? These are gaps. I asked some people, some friends who are scholars, people who work in the university, lecturers. I asked them, I say, please, as an intending undergraduate who want to get admission into your university, if I come with this kind of argument, how will you people look at me? WAEC does not print new certificates. NYSC doesn't print new certificates. They can only print that one original, because what you're asking is, unless, I don't even know how to put it, if you declare that you lost your certificate, I don't know if they have the policy of giving you a new one, fine. But what Enahoro Eba asked was a copy of what you have in your record. As I said, assuming Enahoro Eba walks into the court and say, someone is parading a certificate that I think is fake. Please, can you people give me something to confirm that that certificate he presented is real? Do you think that the university will be going to print a new one for you or to give you a photocopy? I don't know. Also, I know very well now that CSU has forgery results syndicate within their system. It's time for them to stand all and flush out. Possible. If a university has a syndicate that forgery, remember, if you've been following me on this platform, I had once said that there is every possibility that somebody picked a phone in Nigeria and called a number that is supposed to be a university number, say, I am so and so person. I went to so and so university, but I've lost my certificate and I need a copy of the certificate. That it is possible that they have sold dummy to the person. Now, let's put it this way. It is possible that you're on the street of Lagos or on the street of Abuja. You're in Asokoro, Abuja. And someone says that he's selling money. And you brought your hard-earned naira and gave to someone to give you dollars. And the person gave you dollars, but you didn't know it is fake. If you come to buy something with that dollar, and they found out that it is fake, I hope you know that you could go to jail for it. That person could go to jail for it. But if that person proves beyond reasonable doubt that I did not only got deceived, I lost my money, I am not fake, the justice system might let you go. But will the justice system give you the money you have lost? No, you've lost something. When you submit a forged document to INEC or to any government agency, it is called perjury. And perjury, you should be going to jail for perjury. Remember, the House of Rep Speaker, 1999, did the same thing. He went to jail before he was granted pardon. But in this instance, nobody may go to jail, but it will still cost you an arm. In the same way you lose your money after the money changer deceived you by giving you fake dollar, that is how the law says you will lose your governorship position if you forge certificate. You will lose your House of Assembly position if you forge your certificate. You will lose your governorship position, presidency position if you submit a fake certificate. It settles it. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, Doc, I have a question.
Go ahead.
You said initially that Atiku is just preparing for the Supreme Court. Well, I want
Yes.
to ask, will what is happening now in one way or the other influence the decision of the judges?
Of course, it will not influence it negatively. It will make the judges know that, look, this case, nobody's taking this case lightly. That Nigerians are ready to trash this issue. And that it will not be on their conscience that they are seen as the only cog in the wheel of justice in Nigeria. I believe that these judges are following this case closely. I believe they are following even what is happening in the US. And I believe that it will now make them to give real credence to what Enahoro submitted. Let it be that is the candidate of APC that will now come over to the Supreme Court to clear himself. The judges must rule in favor of what they have before them. There are two certificates before the judges of the appeal courts today. The one that is in the possession of INEC submitted by APC on behalf of their candidate, and the one given to Enahoro Eba by the university, which here the APC people themselves have acknowledged that it was issued by the issuer of the certificate. They have acknowledged that the issuer of the certificate gave that document. And so by mere acknowledging that the issuer of that certificate gave that judgment, he has put the one that the APC candidate submitted in a big jeopardy here. However, they are arguing that he's not a party to the case, that the subpoena granted to him was illegal. Are you the court? Are you going to appeal the subpoena that had already been executed? Because when the subpoena had been executed already, the university has provided it. They might be saying that he's not a party to the case in Atiku versus Tinubu. Yes, he's not a party to the case, but he is a witness that was subpoenaed, and he came there as a subpoena witness to tender the document that it is in his position. Let me explain this. The court is going to look at, let me put it this way. Do you know the value the court will attach to what Enahoro submitted is exactly the value they will attach to the mathematician that Peter Obi brought. The value they will attach to the witness statements that every person who came to give witness, because all those people are witness. When you come to a case, you bring witness that will validate your case. So when the court opens that witness statement submitted by Nahoraba, first thing they will check is who gave him this certificate. And they will say, oh, it was given by the issuer. And then they picked the one. Okay. And then they will say, how did it enter our court? This boy brought it into our court through a subpoena that was issued by this court. Remember that all those subpoenas were all issued by the court. So through a subpoena that was issued by this court, this boy brought this document here. And through a subpoena that was issued in the US, the issuer of the certificate released this document to him. Are you watching the legal steps that was followed? So I am feeling more comfortable now. Now that the APC themselves have acknowledged that what Enahoroeba brought was given to him by the university. It is now the business of the appeal court to say, if we disqualify you because of this inconsistency, you can now go to the Supreme Court to clear your name. Because the burden of proof, remember, the burden of proof keeps shifting. The burden of proof was shifted to them, and they have not done anything. It is left to the university to begin to accept that they themselves made a mistake in the dates, made mistake in the number of signatures, made mistake in the logo, and made mistake in the font. Why would an institution subject themselves to those levels of errors for one man? For one man.
But Doc, if I'm to say, I would say that I don't really think the university is to be blamed, because we know that our sitting president even tried to prevent the court from, going there, giving them the go ahead order to release his record. So if he should take that step, it means that there's something he's trying to hide. What do you think? For him not to allow the courts to go ahead. Initially, he told the courts that they don't have the jurisdiction.
I am happy you brought this. Atiku, the universities are even arguing with Atiku, saying that if the court says they should release a document, that they will release it, but they may not release everything because he's asking for every record, the secondary school he used to enter, the job he has done, the work record he submitted with them, and all this and all that. But like you said, I am not blaming the university. I am not exonerating the university. I am saying, based on the defense this person is putting, that's why I'm asking all those questions. And those questions I'm asking is what you could term a rhetoric question, more like asking ourselves, is it possible? Is it possible? Even a nursery school cannot make such number of errors in one child's certificate. You are looking at, because the so-called person that they say created a new certificate must have a record that he's copying the information. Is it not true? He must have a record that you're copying the information. Okay, this person's name is, okay, copied it, graduated, copied, and then you're making a mistake. And when someone came to ask you, please, we feel there's nobody in this world who didn't know. Even when someone give you fake money, you look at it, you start by saying, the color is not like the money I know. Before you touch it, before you start checking it, something triggers. My own reasoning tells me that the university did not commit all these irregularities. But we have to look at it as a case that has been presented. Let the university either admit that they committed all those irregularities to save one man, or exonerate themselves as an institution. If they are credible enough, they will do what they have to do. Exactly. Ogundeji David is asking, under normal circumstance, if people are pointing accusing finger on you, what you usually do is that you open your door and say, there is no skeleton here. Come and see. But people are saying that there is a skull in your cupboard, and you are now covering your cupboard as if it is a horde of skeletons of human beings. They are saying that there is a skull of one human being. And the way you're guarding your cupboard, guarding your this thing is as if it's a coven where the only thing that is in that room are human beings' bodies. Why are you guarding it so jealously? Why are you even going to the court in the US to explain to them that the university made a mistake? Did the court ask you? Are you defending the university? Is it not the duty of the university to come and say, oh, we made a mistake? But the university is not even asked, did you people make a mistake in somebody's certificate? The university simply asks, can you give us a copy of what you have in your record? I think we've done a good one today, Nigerians.
No, thank you very much. Honestly, this is really a good opportunity for him to just like come out and clear himself of all these things. Can imagine since 1999 up to today, I don't really think he should just keep hiding all this information. If he wants to become a public figure, he should be ready to like make everything bare for people to see. So talking about this administration, there was this post on Twitter, making reference to ex-governor Omai, the ex-governor of Ebony State. He's still a senator and now a minister. And the interviewer was asking him how come he's still having these two positions. He has not resigned from being a senator, and he has equally picked up this ministerial post. So although somebody posted, but I think that tweet made sense to me. Somebody was like saying that he's trying to hold the two positions so that in case tribunal disqualifies the sitting president, he want to go back to the Senate. This was the kind of politics that Lawal tried to play. He was like trying to put himself here and put himself there, though it didn't work out for him, although the judiciary helped him. But I don't know, Doctor, if you have anything to say about this.
It's not. I don't think it's an issue. He will resign. They just swore them in on Monday. He will now officially turn in his resignation after his screening and nomination and everything. He's still entitled by law to keep sitting in the Senate until he's sworn in. Now that he's sworn in, he's going to tender his resignation. All right. So, I mean, it happens all over the world. Even in the US, after the 2020 election, the current vice president, she was still a senator. She, until I think it was just a few days to the swearing in, that she tendered her resignation, and then they took time to get her replacement. INEC will eventually conduct another election in Ebony State to replace him. So it's not an issue. But I like the fact that Nigerians they're checking everything now.
Yes, yes.
They want,
And somebody has equally condemned that. Somebody has condemned that as in holding two positions because of our economical state. Somebody was like, why should the president choose somebody who is in the Senate to come and hold a ministerial post? Because we still need to spend money to run elections to replace people that will be leaving the Senate.
They don't think like that. However, the president is covered by law. It's no longer what is moral that this government is asking. They are now thinking about what is lawful, what is in the law. I mean, take a look at it. You see the skewed nature of the ministerial appointment. Some states got just one person and they made that person Minister of State, not even the main minister. No, like Minister of State is like an assistant minister. Whereas there are some states that got 4 people and they are all main ministers. Where is the balance? Where is federal character here? Do you understand? It would have been, if these people have conscience, what they would have thought is, okay, I make sure that I make people from East, that nobody from a, no 2 people from a state can occupy 2 main ministry like head, when there is a state that 1 person is Minister of State. But there are some states, like, I mean, popularly in Southeast, some states in Southeast, some people are Minister of States there. And there are some states, Shegun Showumi was complaining, I heard him on TV, was complaining that some states in the Southwest got 4 people, 3 people, and they are main ministers, whereas an entire region, entire Southeast zone got only 5 people. Entire Southeast zone got only 5 people. And not all of them are main ministers. But some states in the Southwest got 3 people, 1 state, 3 people. And they're all main ministers. I am not interested in all those things. That is not what we are discussing here. Because if you take us that part now, we deviate and we start talking about federal character and go, which is equity, 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 equity. The one that they're even saying is, they are saying that somebody like Omahi and the Wike, that the president must mandate them not to collect pension from their state, because that's collecting pensions from their state. But the question I'm going to ask is, would the president do that? Because since
himself too, yeah, he collects.
So sometimes you're not able to ask people to do what you can do.
At the expense of the Nigerian people.
They don't
because
care.
it's the ordinary people that are suffering.
They don't care.
Yes, so guys, we'll be ending it at this point. Dr. Ted, thank you for all your beautiful contributions. Our viewers, thank you all for staying till this point. We really appreciate your presence. Please don't forget to like this video so that YouTube can recommend it for others to watch. Please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so that each time we have a new video or we are live, you'll be notified. With this, I want to say a very big thank you for being a part of today's live session. Thank you all and God bless you. Good night.
Thank you. Good.